Hey guys, I'm Erin and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm giving you my December TBR. So this December, the Shelf Space Discord is hosting a readathon in the form of a bingo board, and so I will put a picture of the bingo board next to me. And so it is a standard bingo board size with different holiday song themed prompts for each spot. And so the way this readathon is working is for every bingo you fill out, you submit a Google form with that bingo and you get entered into a giveaway at the end of the month. And the winners of the giveaway will receive a book of their choice from their wish list at around $15 US. So I will link the Shelf Space Discord below if you're interested in participating, because that's where you can find, you know, all the rules listed out, this bingo card, as well as the submission form. For this readathon, I am planning to complete 2 bingos. That's my goal ahead of time. Instead of doing every prompt, we're just shooting for 2. And so the first bingo I'm shooting for is the O column. And so just going down that road, the first prompt is Jingle Bells, read an audiobook. And then for that prompt, I'm going to be listening to Winterkeep by Kristin Cashore. This is the most recent book in the Graceling Realms series, which is an old YA series that the trilogy came out probably about 10 years ago, and I really, really loved it. And this year she released a new 4th book in the series that's a sequel to the 3rd book. It takes place 5 years later and is kind of a companion. Like, it's a sequel because it takes place later, but the 3rd book wrapped up fine, so kind of feels more like a companion in that way. And I have been rereading the original trilogy to refresh myself on the world and characters, and I'm excited to read this new one. In this new one, we are exploring a whole new region of the world. We're kind of going across the sea to this new continent that we have not previously really heard much about. And in this continent, it's a democratic government, which is different from the continent we had been on, which is all monarchies, and it's also a much more technologically advanced continent. So I'm very intrigued to see where the author goes with this kind of just new ideas, a kind of new era of, I guess, innovation within the same universe. And so I'll be listening to that audiobook. The next prompt is Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, which is a cozy read or a comfort read. And so for me, I'm going with the comfort read of that and going with romance, because cute, sweet romances is just kind of a comfort genre for me. And for this prompt, I'm reading It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This book is inspired by Schitt's Creek, the TV show, specifically by the character Alexis Rose, and Schitt's Creek is one of my all-time favorite TV shows, so that kind of pitch was enough to hook me in. And so in this one, we follow Piper, who gets disowned by her family, or kind of sent to learn like a lesson after getting into too much trouble in her kind of rich party girl spoiled life in LA, and she gets sent to this, I think, fishing village up in Washington. And there she is kind of just sent to, like, I think for about 3 months, she was to go for 3 months to kind of learn the value of money, kind of learn how to live a life that's not just a party girl, and she ends up forming a relationship with a local kind of gruff fisherman. So I'm very excited for this one. The next prompt is Snowballs, read a book with an unreliable narrator or protagonist. So for this, I'm reading For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. Admittedly, this is the one prompt that I'm only kind of sure I've paired a book correctly for. This is a thriller about a teacher at a private school, and there's like, his wife hasn't been seen by people in a while, and like there's a mysterious death of a parent. There's people who've started to like kind of dig into his past, and he kind of just wants them all to leave him alone. And I've heard good things about it, and I've also just, when I hear other people who've read it talk about it, it kind of strikes me as the kind of point of view character that would be an unreliable character, but I don't actually know that for sure, so I'm hoping this actually ends up fitting this prompt, so I guess we'll see. But either way, definitely excited to pick it up. The next prompt is 50 Shades of Sleigh, which is read a book with romance in it. So I'm reading a romance book for this one, and I'm going to be reading Mangoes and Mistletoes by Adriana Herrera. This is a book club pick for a book club I am in, and it is a holiday romance novella. And so in this one, we have 2 bakers who are going to Scotland for a holiday baking competition, and the 2 of them are paired up together. I guess it's like, oh my god, my husband just walked by the window of the room I'm filming and just scared the crap out of me. Okay, sorry, let me compose myself. Whew, he does not aware as I was filming, and he waved just nice, and it just like saw a form walking by. Wasn't prepared for that. Okay, back to Mangoes and Mistletoes. So yeah, so this is a sapphic romance between, what did I even say about it already? We're just gonna start it over. So sapphic romance between 2 bakers. I think one is like a pastry chef and one is just like a home cook. And they are both going to Scotland to do this baking competition, and they end up getting paired together in whatever format this competition is I guess paired cooking, and they have to learn to work together to win the competition, and I assume they fall in love. So I'm excited to read this one. Next is Last Christmas, which is read a backlist title. So for that one, I am reading The Huntress by Cate Quinn. This is a historical fiction novel following Nina, who is a Soviet who becomes part of an all-female bomber squad after the Nazis start attacking the Soviet Union. We also follow a German Nazi murderess who becomes kind of, I guess, infamous, and then a British journalist who becomes a Nazi hunter who is willing to knock down the Huntress, the Nazi murderess. And then additionally, post-war, we get the story of a teenager in America whose dad comes back home with this mysterious new German fiance, and the teenager kind of becomes suspicious about her new stepmother's background and kind of what her story is. So definitely excited for this one. I read The Alice Network by Cate Quinn and loved it, and I've really been wanting to pick up another book by her, so excited to pick this up. So that is my first bingo for the column, and then for my across bingo, I am doing the 4th row down, and the first prompt on that row is A Nightmare Before Christmas, which is read a horror or thriller book. So for this, I am reading The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse. This takes place at an old abandoned sanatorium, or previously abandoned sanatorium that's like up isolated in the mountains that has since been refurbished and turned into this 5-star resort. And our main character is a detective who is there with her brother to celebrate his engagement to his fiance. And after they get there, like the next day or something, I think the fiance disappears. And so our main character, who is a detective, is trying to figure out what happened to her. So the next category is the first Noel, read a first in a series. And this is the category that I don't actually have one picked out for, because first in a series is just like so broad, and I have so many that instead of having one option, I have chosen a pile of possibilities for this. So here's my pile of 6 possibilities for this prompt. We have City of Lies by Sam Hawke, The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick, Hollow Smoke by H.M. Long, A Queen in Hiding by Sarah Kozloff, An Illusion of Thieves by Kate Glass, and 12 Kings and Sharakhai by Bradley P. Beaulieu. So we'll see which one of these I decide to pick up for this prompt. Next is Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, which is read a book with a young protagonist, and I've chosen The King of Attolia by Megan Whalen Turner. This one is the 3rd book in the Queen's Thieves series, and in this one we are following a new point of view than we have previously, with a totally new character, so not new point of view and new characters this series, I believe, of this guard named Costas. So in the summary, he's described as a young guard, which is why I've chosen this for young protagonist. So I don't actually know how young he is, but we're going with that. And he ends up getting embroiled and begrudgingly pulled into kind of the political mess the new king of Attolia has made for himself, and he's kind of begrudgingly there, and he just gets pulled into the web of politics. And I quite enjoyed the political intrigue in the 2nd book in the series, so I'm looking forward to kind of more of the same from this one. Next is Celebrate Around the World, read a non-European inspired fantasy. So for this I'm reading Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. This is the 1st book in a new duology, and it is based on, or is inspired by, the Chinese tale of Chang'e, the moon goddess. And so I am not familiar with that story enough to know if this is more on just the inspired by stories side of things or the straight retelling of this mythological tale. Not sure where it falls in that spectrum, but in this book we follow Xingyin, I hope I said that right, Xingyin, who has grown up on the moon because her mother got exiled by the celestial emperor, and she is grown up, so the daughter is now grown up on the moon, kind of isolated from the world, and then and in secret, so she's secretly been growing up here, and her presence becomes known, so she has to flee for her safety from the moon, and she ends up on, I think, Earth, where the celestial emperor is, and ends up in hiding in his court, trying to kind of learn skills because she is on a quest to save her mother. So this sounds really good. This doesn't come out till January, and I have an e-arc of it. I'm very excited. Also, gorgeous cover. And then the last category is 50 Shades of Sleigh, which I already covered in my last bingo. So these are the 9 books I am planning on, well, 8 in a pile of possibilities that I'm planning on reading in December. If you've read any of these, let me know what you think. If you have any opinions on which of these 6 I should read for my first in a series, let me know. And I will see you in my next video.